Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at that snowstorm that is coming up this weekend that could be super potent. We also have some potential snowstorms later on after that one that we need to go over as well. Anyways, before I get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, which state do you think sees the most snowfall with this upcoming snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and we're taking a look at our radar imagery. There is no major storms out there right now because we have an area of showers here for the northwest. Some areas here of precipitation for the kind of mountainous regions of Montana or western Montana there. Now, we do see that the southwestern United States also has some precipitation going on. Then we also have a tiny bit of precipitation here for the upper Midwest, and then some of that precipitation going on up there for the northeast also. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas of kind of minor precipitation. I'd say the most major one is actually up here in the upper Midwest. Let's go one by one and just zoom in because I really want to just go over what's going on around the country. I like to do this every single day. I think this gives you guys an idea of what to expect for the rest of your day as you're watching this video this morning. So we do have this precipitation heading onshore to the northwest, mostly here for northern, I guess northwestern Oregon, and then obviously western Washington as well. Here, some heavier pockets in there, but really this is a more light to moderate rainfall event, it appears. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of this snowfall going on. And throughout the northern Rockies, we do have some snowfall. You can see the precipitation typing actually turns off there at the end, which is really annoying, but that does happen from time to time. But it's safe to assume that most of these areas right here are still snowfall, obviously, in these mountainous regions. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and then zoom back in to the southwestern United States, where we've had some precipitation building in. It's more spotty than anything, I would say. But for these regions, it is raining, and actually I think Las Vegas, it might be raining quite a bit, which is obviously not something you see every single day. And also Southern California here, we're also seeing quite a bit of rainfall. So let's zoom into those kind of interesting regions because this isn't your everyday type of weather. We do have extreme southwestern California seeing some pretty moderate to heavy not snowfall, that would be crazy. Moderate to heavy rainfall going on up here. We do have some sprinkles going on for Los Angeles as well. Which is, again, not something you see every single day. Let's go ahead and move this up and take a look at Las Vegas, where they are seeing some pretty moderate to heavy rainfall move in, and there's a lot behind it as well, so there might be quite a bit of rainfall moving into the Las Vegas area throughout the morning this morning, and maybe even lasting into the afternoon, which is obviously just, like I keep saying, just something you do not see every single day. As we move up here to the upper Midwest, we can see pretty heavy snowfall building in for these regions. The whites is kind of moderate to heavy. The grays is going to be your light snowfall. We're not seeing any blues show up. That would be your heavy snowfall. So mostly for these regions, we are seeing a bit of a clipper system move through. I feel like we see this actually multiple times a week for the past couple of weeks. Well, I'll just start out the video and we'll see like this area of snowfall up here. So if you live in this region, let me know if this has just been happening over and over and over again for you guys, because it just feels that way to me. Now, for a bit of Michigan here, we can see there is some lake effect snowfall that was developing in this region, or even better yet, kind of this region here, but that has subsided over time, and that's probably with some pretty fierce winds heading in like this, very cold winds heading in like this, and what that's doing is carrying in the precipitation to these regions here. That has kind of subsided, like I said, though. And then as we head towards the northeast, in general, we see that there's a lot of lake effect showers going on down here. And then in general, there's been some snow showers and rain showers going on for a lot of New England as well, especially northern New England. But it's this lake effect area in here that's pretty interesting, taking up a lot of, and I mean, we actually had some heavier showers down there near Pittsburgh as well. Let me zoom into this kind of region here. Yeah, we had some heavier showers in this region overnight a little bit for Pittsburgh, areas south of Pittsburgh, even central Pennsylvania, like Altoona there. But now it's mostly here for northern Pennsylvania and then regions of southern New York there near Buffalo, Binghamton, Syracuse, areas like that. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to move on from this. We're going to take a look at that model guidance and go over these upcoming snowstorms because there's a lot more snow on the way. All right, so here we are taking a look at the European model, and this is as of right now. We're we're really in a prime pattern for some snowfall here in the eastern United States. We can see a really big ridge there in the west. We see this trough here in the east, and it sharply cuts north there, as you can see. That's kind of the track that you want a snowstorm to follow for the eastern United States. We get a brief ridge, like very, very brief. What ends up happening is we see this cold front develop along that new cold front that's coming through. The jet stream looks about like this, but that trough is really quickly trying to head into the eastern United States. So we see this cold front developing here, and this is actually where we get our first little bit to this snowstorm developing. We see snow on the northern edge there. This is kind of Thursday mid-morning. We're going to be talking about 10 or 11 a.m. here. That's Thursday, January 20th. By the time this trough is moving in, and we get a little bit of a snowstorm, I would say a minor snowstorm that develops in here. This is for my region. This is 75 hours out. So if I don't get the big one, I'm at least happy that I might get this one, this little minor one. We can't get too greedy with the snowfall, guys. This is overnight Thursday into Friday. So for eastern Virginia and then also northern North Carolina, that is a potential snowstorm that will kind of happen. Now, there is the potential for snowfall to just continue happening as the second storm begins to develop down here in the southeastern United States. This is Friday afternoon there. That's January 21st. We can see the pattern is something like this. It's kind of odd. We do have a bit of a ridge along the western seaboard there, but there's tons of cold up here in the north regardless, and then we see this storm developing here in the southeast. Let's continue this on further. And on the European model, my area kind of gets screwed out of the snowfall. So that is why I'm at least hopeful that I get the first little one. Now, for you guys further west and further north, you would be hoping that this European model is correct, because this one is closest to the coast with the track, and it really keeps that snowstorm really prime for DC up through Boston, basically, your classic nor'easter snowstorm. Now, I would get back into snowfall, so again, can't get too greedy, but there's a 987 millibar low pressure center right there. And look at that heavy snowfall along the eastern seaboard there. Let's just zoom into the east real quickly. Let's take an eastern view. This is classic, guys. You see Boston, New York, even Providence if you want to go there. It's not considered one of the classic cities for snowstorms, but I'll go there. I'll even go Baltimore. I don't know if I just put it right on Baltimore. That's always a hard one to find. DC, Richmond, all of these areas. Philadelphia. Oh my goodness, Philadelphia. That is the classic like snowstorm cities along the eastern seaboard there for the northeast. And all of these areas are right in the heaviest snowfall with this storm. So this would be like a huge snowstorm according to population-wise and also snowfall-wise. We'll see that in a minute. Low pressure systems are right here. And it's far enough offshore by this point, probably, I'm trying to do an estimate here, maybe 150 miles offshore, I would say, by that point. Maybe only 100 from that point, but from like this point, more like 150, I would say. 120, 150. And that's enough to where all of the areas that are over land here are snow, as you can see. So that is something worth noting. But back here when the low pressure system is only like 50 miles offshore or even less, we see a lot of rain and freezing rain taking place in here. Also, that's the morning hours of Saturday, so it's kind of the daytime temperatures. It's once we get later towards, I guess this is midday actually on Saturday, so I don't know what I'm talking about here. This is by about 3 p.m. So I guess it is purely because this trough is fully moving in and the low pressure system is moving further offshore. So by this point, there would be no risk of sleet. Just looking at this map, I'm not talking about what's actually going to happen, but according to this model, there would be no sleet over land anymore, and it would be cold enough for everybody to be snow by this point. And that does continue for quite a few hours, and you can see that snowfall continues up here through the night a little bit. And then that storm fully moves out by the time we're reaching about Sunday afternoon. There'll be nothing left except for very frigid temperatures here as a deep trough has moved into this region. We can even see snowfall just taking place throughout these regions, especially lake effect throughout all of these regions, and then a little bit of a minor clipper system in all of those regions. Total snowfall. Important to use Kuchera in these types of situations, guys, because this is going to exclude the sleet. You see, when we use 10-to-1 ratio, it shows a lot more down here. But that is where this model would indicate sleet would be happening. So it's important to use Kuchera, which holds back those amounts. It lowers these amounts a lot, probably by multiple inches, depending on where you're at. So that's really important to do there. And it also increases the amounts for regions that need to be increased. So this would be a major snowstorm, obviously. Over a foot here for all of these regions in here in this bright pink. So that's all your snowstorm cities: Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC, and Richmond, like I said. So this would be obviously crazy. And let's see. So if we're in the grays, it's a dusting. If anything, blues is going to be 2 to 6 inches. Purples is going to be 6 to 10. Then your pinks is going to be anywhere from 10 to 20. And we see these pastels in here. Okay, so on this model run for Central Virginia up through kind of south of DC there in Maryland, and even there in the Delmarva there between Delaware and Maryland, and even a bit of Northern Virginia there on the eastern shore side, and I guess even into southern New Jersey probably. That's where we have 20 inches plus. That's where we're kind of 20 to 25 inches. This model indicates the maximum is 23.9, so practically 24 there. If you look at the bottom right-hand side of your screen there where I just circled, 23.9 inches, somewhere in there. I'm guessing it's somewhere like right in here, probably. So that's where this model has the bullseye right now for Snowfall. Let's take a look at some other models, shall we? So here's the GFS. I mean, obviously huge difference, but the one thing important to note with the GFS is this model has a serious southeast bias, usually, with these snowstorms. Look at how it keeps it. I mean, obviously, I'd be pretty happy because it keeps the snowstorm right over my area. I'm sorry, guys. I am getting a little greedy here. I need to calm down. But we can see that this model does hold it to the south. And look at it. It's down here somewhere, and it really just never develops. We see this time and time again with the GFS. And then compared to, let's just take a frame right here, for instance. And let's look at the European model. Same frame. Oh, sorry, wrong model run. Let's see. Right there, this would be the same frame. So here's the European model, major low pressure system, major snowfall. European model is the better model anyway. And then let's move on to the GFS. Look at the difference. It's holding this snowstorm so far southeast, and I do expect to see a northern and northwestern trend with this one. I really do with the GFS model. I'm going to be shocked if there's not a huge trend where the GFS basically moves towards where the European is, or at least they kind of meet in the middle. I really expect that to happen. We see the GFS model do this so often, where it holds these storms so far southeast compared to the other models, and then it eventually folds. That's only with snowstorms that are looking to potentially occur for areas in the southern half of the eastern United States, or I guess the southeastern corner, better yet. So snowstorms that happen down here, it just holds them so far southeast, and then it just eventually trends north over time. And I mean, it's only Tuesday right now. We still have multiple days to go, so we will be watching for those trends. Now let's see what the Canadian model is showing at this point. So it's a little bit more in the middle, as you can see. The low pressure system, it's about here, and then it moves towards about here. So for my area, actually in Eastern Virginia, this would be the best case solution for kind of the southern mid-Atlantic folks. But obviously for DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, this would be the worst case scenario because the snow stays south of you guys the entire time. But you do have the European model on your side, which is good news for you. We're going to have to watch for that. Now, let's take a look at that total snowfall on this model. Again, Kuchera, not 10 to 1 ratio, and it holds the most snowfall in this region here. We do get some snowfall with the first little batch in this region as well, but the bullseye actually would be for the Delmarva down through southeastern Virginia and kind of northeastern North Carolina. We have seen snowstorms like this happen before. I do live in this region, so I am familiar with this type of a storm happening. If the storm happens late enough with the current jet stream pattern, this is a very plausible solution. But also if the storm hits much earlier, it's also a plausible solution that this area mixes a lot. And then we see mostly this yellow circle see the majority of the snowfall like the European model is showing. Again, I'll show you guys that one more time. And we're going to have to switch the model run again, like I said, because this is the 60, so this only goes out to Friday. So we have to move this on just like that. So that would be a very plausible solution if the snowstorms hits a little bit earlier before the trough can really dig down. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to talk about with this storm, guys. I am so excited to be tracking this one because we've just had back-to-back major snowstorms to track now, and it always gives me something to be excited about when I wake up and something to be excited about talking about with you guys. So it makes me happy to see these big storms, snowstorms hitting. It's very, very exciting for me to track. So I'm excited to wake up tomorrow and talk about this one again with you guys. I hope you guys are looking forward to the updates on this one as well. So be sure to subscribe, be sure to like it, and leave a comment down below because those things encourage me so much. And if you subscribe, you get to see future videos. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we've actually moved up to a 4 out of 6 because my confidence is going up a little bit. I feel like the European model might be a little too far north and west, but I also do feel like the GFS might be too far south. I do expect to see that one creep northward. There's a lot of things, moving pieces that are going to be happening, but my confidence has moved up to more of like a 50 to 60% confidence as opposed to like a 40% confidence. I feel like a 3 out of 6 is when I don't even feel like I know if this snowstorm is going to happen. 4 out of 6 is like it's going to happen, but there's a lot of questions to how much snowfall is going to happen and where it's going to happen. That's where we're at. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you think we will have any more major snowstorms than the previous one? And James Marr said, I believe one of these snowstorms will be more major than Izzy, especially for the coast, as much more cold air will be in place. And that seems to be really the trend here, because you guys see on the models, basically more coastal regions are going to get involved with this storm regardless, because so much more cold air will be available at the coast. So that is the type of storm we're looking at here. So good comment of the day there. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Little Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kodalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Colisi also. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.